Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie. I am the Introverted Reader. I'm I'm just looking at my shirt right now. I must be done with spring and summer because this is screaming I need to be in my witchy era, you know what I mean? Like that I just spotted myself. I just randomly grabbed this shirt and I was like, "Oh, I clearly need it to be fall time." But anyway, children, we are here to do a review on the Introverted Reader Book Club pick for the month of July, and that was Spellbound. Look at this lovely cover. Isn't she beautiful? Okay? Gorgeous. Look at that spine. And she's got lovely sprayed edges. Oh, she's gorgeous. Anyway, so this is by Georgia Leighton, if I'm pronouncing her last name right. And I find this in my Asda, like my local Asda, for like £7, and I'm just a girl, so I had to grab it. So that all out of the way, I decided to make this the book club pick, and I finished it quite quickly, which was nice. It is a quick read, I'll give it that. Was this the greatest thing I've ever read? No. But was it terrible? No. But we'll get into it in a moment. But we're going to take a drink first. Okay, here we go. Nothing on the teeth. We're good! Finally, yay. So, Spellbound. What is it about? I mean, you can probably see by the cover. You see a wee spinning wheel down there. You see a rose. You can probably gather it's to do with Sleeping Beauty. So basically, what it says here is an atmospheric feminist retelling of a classic fairy tale that asks, what if beauty never went to sleep? And she doesn't, okay? So, start of this book, Queen gives birth to a princess. And there's all these people arriving, not for a christening per se, they call it a blessing, which in a sense is kind of what a christening is. Whatever. Anyway, so it's all these like people called masters who were like magic users that are coming to the palace for a blessing ceremony for the baby. So they're getting there, and Queen isn't looking very well, and it's not look. I mean, she just given birth, and then she is up and about now because she can't stop. But anyway, so they're all there, and then this like evil fairy or magic user shows up and curses the child. Basically, her curse was, she's like, I'll come back when she turns 17, and then when that happens, she will die, essentially. And then Queenie surprises everybody by giving birth to another baby. She had another one cooking in there. Nobody knew. So she gives birth to twins in the end, right? The other one was just a few minutes behind. And she gets this idea. She hands the baby to this woman called Cell, who is like a master, a magic user. And she says, take this baby away and hide her till she's 17, and we'll keep the other one here on this island. We'll keep them separate from each other. We'll keep her hidden and her here so that when the time comes for the evil fairy to come, basically wanting to use her other daughter as bait, essentially, because trying to like, so yeah, not really a good look for Queenie there at the beginning of the story. And yeah, so that's it really. So Sale goes off with the other baby and pretty much raises her as her own, names her Briar, which is fitting because if you're familiar with Sleeping Beauty, girlie's name was Briar Rose. So she takes her away and they move about a lot because, she's constantly paranoid that they're going to get caught. But like Briar, as she gets older, she gets blessed with beauty, a beautiful singing voice. And as she gets older, they constantly have to move because she's spellbound is what they're calling it. It could attract attention, so they constantly have to keep moving. And then we cut to the other daughter, Talia, who's living on this island with the queen, who barely speaks to her, just keeps to her room a lot. And Talia is obviously just Talia is just an ordinary girl really. She doesn't know she's a princess. She doesn't know she's a princess. She don't know about the curse. And obviously Briar doesn't know she's a princess or anything like that. So yeah, that's it. And we kind of just go back and forth between Sail with Briar and the island with Talia. And yeah, that's pretty much it, really. If I'm being honest, like I said, this was not the worst thing I ever read, but it wasn't the greatest. And the reason for it being not the greatest is because, personally for me, I didn't feel very much of the fairy tale aspect that I was promised. Like, it says atmospheric nearly everywhere, all across this book. That's what I was told, but it's not what I got. It didn't feel very magical. It didn't feel atmospheric to me. You know, and the magic users, the masters, and like Sail was meant to be a master. She was meant to be a magic user, but like honestly, the magic and the way it's meant to work, like the whole magic system within this world, barely explained, if I'm being honest with you. I didn't feel like the author didn't really go into detail as to how any of the magic works, essentially, or what Sail's magic even was, what her own master's magic was meant to be. Like, all of that was left, a whole ton of that was left pretty much just unexplained, and, or just not, yeah. I was let down by that, because you know me. You know I love a magic system. You know I live for all of that, you know. I'm a fantasy girly. I need the fantastical element, and it just wasn't there. Another thing was, it says feminist as well. It didn't feel very feminist. It didn't feel very feminist at all. It kind of just felt like another historical fiction where all these women weren't really standing up for themselves. Really, I mean, they were just sort of like, they just felt very blah. Like, I feel horrible saying that, but it all just felt very blah, really, if I'm being honest with you. But like, I did enjoy the fact that it was a quick read. I did enjoy the fact that I wasn't getting a whole ton of information dumped on me. I wouldn't have minded a little bit more, but you know, that sounded a little bit hypocritical, didn't it? There, me saying I wanted more, but say, what I mean by that is I just wanted a bit more explanation as to the magic and the magic system. You know, there's a difference between giving me an explanation and dumping information on me. That's what I'm trying to say in my ramblings. Yet didn't feel very feminist, didn't feel very empowered as a woman whilst reading. And I mean, this is this author's debut, so I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. I feel like if later on, why are people screaming outside my house? Why are you all screaming? Good Lord. Go find, like, children, am I right? Anyway. Yeah, it just felt blah, if I'm being honest. And, like, there was, I mean, and for a lot of the first half, I was very tempted to give this 2 stars instead of 3, because nothing was really happening. And I was a bit bored. I wasn't so bored that I wanted to DNF. I was just like, can something happen? Like, can stuff get going already? And then stuff actually did start to happen. And then I started getting a little bit more interested. I was like, oh, okay, now we're cooking. Now I see you. Now I see you. And for a little bit, I was entertained for a bit. And then it kind of, like, it was like this. And then it went up a little bit. And then it just came back down. And I was just like, okay, all right, fine. I mean, I see what you're doing. You know, it just, I'm going to say what a lot of my teachers would say to me when I would hand in an essay. You've got the bare bones, but there's just not enough to it. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I feel horrible saying that, because this is this author's debut. And I know, and I do want to read more from her in the future, because I did enjoy her writing. I'm just sort of like, I needed more explanation on the magic system. I just needed more out of it, because I felt like this could have been wonderful, but it just wasn't. But it wasn't awful. It wasn't terrible. It was just, in the end, it's a 3-star from me. It's a 3-star from me. And listen, if you read this and it's your favorite book thus far this year, God bless you. It's just, you know, I love a fairy tale. You know, I love a fairy tale retelling, and maybe I put too much expectation on it because I love things like this, but you just weren't it, babes. But she has a beautiful cover, doesn't she? It is a lovely cover. Like, I love this. Who designed this cover? Jackets, Irene Martinez. Girl, you did that. You did that. That is beautiful. Anyway, so let me know if you've read this and your thoughts. Do you agree with anything that I said? Are there any other books like this that are maybe better written, I'm so sorry to say, that you think that I would like better? Let me know in the comments. So yeah, that is my review for today. I hope you're all having a good week. I go away to London next week, and I'm not prepared, so I'm not sure whether or not I'm gonna have a video up on Saturday. I am off on Saturday, but whether or not I have a video up, I don't know. But follow me. My niece is here, so that's what the screaming is. So follow me on all my socials, and I'll keep you updated on there as to whether or not I'm gonna put a video up over the weekend. So that would be my Blue Sky, Instagram and Threads, and my TikTok. So follow me on over there. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the bell. Leave a like so the algorithm knows you like me. And I will see you next week. No, not next week. I'll be away. Bye. I'll see you sometime. Bye-bye.